Hello everybody! Today we are going to talk about basic types of variables. And we also gonna talk about how we should name our variables so our code will look better for others and for us in future. Okay, so what type of variables do we have and what is type of variable? Well, when we create a variable, so we, for example, create a variable named a and we assign to it, so we put into the variable value 5, it means that we've just created a variable that type is integer. Okay, integer, int integer, and we can check it when we run the program and we use something what is called a command, a function type, and we do something like that. We send there the variable a, to see the result. As you can see, we'll have as a result int, which means it is integer. It means that you have got now inside of it integer value. Okay. We have got also something what is called float numbers. And it means that are numbers with fraction. So for example, 3.14. And this is called float numbers. Type. Oh, I have to run the module first. Sorry. Type B. As you can see, it's float now. It's very important to notice that we've used the dot here, okay? We didn't use comma, we used dot. In order to create fraction, we use dot, okay? So, as you can see, we have got now 3.14. We've got also type that is called string. It is a sequence of characters. So one character next to each other. And in order to create string, we need to type the name for variable, then the equal sign, and then use the double quotes or single quotes. And between them, the string, the word that we want to put there. So for example, we can put there my name, Arkadiusz. And when you run the module, and I type name, as you can see, we have got now Arkadiusz. That's working, but we can also do it with the double quotes. As you can see, you can do it like that too. But what's the difference? Well, if I wanted to, for example, create a sentence, right? And I would say, I am from Poland. As you can see, this thing got interpreted and we can now type sentence, and I have got I'm from Poland here. But if we use the single quote, our interpreter doesn't know where we start or where we end this string, this sequence of characters, right? Because he's like, hey, this started here and ended here. What is that things after it? So as you can see, we can, if you want to use the single apostrophe in the sentence, in the string, then it's better to use the double quotes. Or there is also another way to do it by using, for example, backslash. When we use backslash, we are saying to the interpreter that this single quote is a single quote that we want to show. It's not a single quote that is used to open and end string, okay? When we run the module, as you can see, we've got the result properly. When we type here something like that, you will notice that the type of it is str. So it's string, right? The sequence of characters. The next thing you should know is about the Boolean type. So there is a type that is called Boolean. It can hold two states, the true and the false. So for example, is big. Yes, it's big, so it's true. Boolean. When we run the module, is big, as you can see, true. You need to notice that we haven't used the quotes here. even though this thing is working fine, right? When we use quotes, it's no longer Boolean type. When you run the program, as you can see, we have got here the single quotes added. And when we do it like that, we have got information that the type is str, which is string. So that works only for true and false. And it's very important for you to know, as you can see, it's bool, that you need to have here the first letter big, okay? Need to be large. If you do it that way, it's not gonna even work, because false is not defined. It's like we are right now trying to assign to isBig variable a variable that is called false, but false was not declared. Okay, so as you can see, the Python language is case sensitive. Every single letter is very important, which means when we create a variable that we call a and we assign to it 4, and we run the program and we type here small a, as you can see, we have got 5. When we type big A, large A, we have got 4. So this is not the same variable, okay? Because we have got here different case of the letter. So it's really important, because you might make some mistakes because of that in future. Be ready for that. So the Python is case sensitive. It's very important to also know that when you're creating names, they should be self-descriptive. What does it mean? It means that when you look at the name of variable, you should already know what is inside of it. So for example, size of section. So when I'm looking at it, it means that this thing is gonna hold the size of section. If I had named it, for example, G, I wouldn't know what is that thing describing, right? And believe me, you should from the start try to name your names like that, okay? It's a good habit. It will save you tons of time. And the next thing, notice that every word that I started in this variable, I started with the large letter OS. It's easier to read the code like that, because if I do it that way, as you can see, I need to focus for a second longer, or maybe millisecond. It doesn't matter. You need to focus longer where the next word is starting, okay? So it's better to do it that way. That every new word that you start, every word you start inside variable name should be capitalized. So they should start from the large letter. So to sum up, the types of variables describes what is inside that variable. It's a good idea to create self-descriptive name of variables, and also it's a good idea to start every word inside the name of variable with the big letter. That's only the lesson. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to ask.